What's good, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video. Okay, before we do anything, can we take a moment to celebrate, or rather, celebrate the 2K subscribers that we have. Very much excited. We are on 2010 subscribers currently as I'm recording this video. I just checked. So quite very much excited. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Hopefully you guys do love it and like it here, and you're here to stay, and all of that shebang. So I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I'll just keep on putting out content and stuff. As I have mentioned before, that I didn't know what the next video was going to be about, but I just thought I felt ready to share a story. Remember when I quit my job last year? I said there was like a little bit of drama that happened, only to find out that that was just the beginning of the drama, or rather, that was not the actual drama. Okay, so I was angry for a very long time. Not angry per se, but I was angry. Yeah, I was angry. Not angry, I was angry. Yes, let me just accept the fact that I had felt angry, and I was emotional about the whole thing. So hence I decided to not tell the story of when I quit my job, right? So I'll probably do a separate video as to why it is that I quit my job and stuff, but maybe I can just share it in this video. So just a quick disclaimer, this is not to please don't feel sorry for me. I'm fine now. I'm fine. Don't feel sorry for me or whatever. This is not to get sympathy or empathy or whatever of that sort. I've healed from that and I'm fine now. I'm fine. Trust me. So, getting straight into the video. So, when I quit my job last year, I did mention that my resignation letter was a bit late due to a number of reasons, right? And I then, submitted my resignation letter, and also considering the fact that I'm not excusing what happened, okay, but given the fact that I'd never resigned anyway. When I was at UJ working as a tutor at the Academy of Computer Science, my contract ended, or I didn't have to resign or anything. So obviously the process is a bit new and all of that stuff. So this is a place where it was the first time I'm resigning in my life. So my resignation letter was a bit late because I think I had signed the offer from my other job, but I wasn't quite you know familiar with the resignation process. I think in my next video I'm gonna do a video of how to resign. Yes, I think it would save you guys a lot of stress and all of those things. I'm not sure if me touching or brushing my hair is affecting the audio or not, but anyway, I'll just stop it. So yeah, I'll just do a video of how to resign from your job, or because nobody told me those things. I anyway, so yes, so I sent through my resignation letter to the dev manager. So yeah, so the dev manager is not really someone you work close to, but they're just there, so they're just there. So I sent it through to him, and he was like, it's a bit late, so he is not sure what's gonna happen, but he's just gonna send through stuff to HR and find out what's gonna happen. And then an email from HR came through, and they're like, no, oh, we can let her go if you really don't need her, right? And then later on in the day, the dev manager's manager was like, no, I can't leave because I don't know, because of my contract said whatever. So my contract said 30 days, and not 30 days, it said a month's notice, and then whatever. And I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. Maybe I can work some extra days in the following month, like to cover the 5 days. And then so it was just one of those things where it was a bit of a back and forth, right? Where I felt it was unnecessary, um, because I mean, yeah. So basically, I was told that I couldn't leave. You get, like, I couldn't leave, and that for me was just like, it got me so angry because I'm like, what do you mean I can't leave? Um, due to whatever reasons. Because also I'm just like, what do you mean I can't leave? Also, like, the other person was like, if I was not needed, which I wasn't, to be quite honest, right? And understanding that, I think also what I came from was the fact that I've done so many things out of my contract, right? In terms of work, you know? And never on a single day I say, oh, my contract says this. My contract says my day ends at this time. I feel like, too often the the contract works for the employer more than it works for the employee, but I think it's good for employers to also not abuse employees, and also respect the contract for the employee. Because if you say that works, then tell them to go home. If they overwork, tell them to not overwork. Do you understand? I think at that moment there was just so many things that was just happening, and man, I think I also became like emotional about it, and maybe I should have stayed, right? And all of that. But like, I think the fact that I wasn't told from the onset, because my thing is, okay, you can't tell me to not go, right? Because I'm telling you that I want to go. Like, already at that point, things were a bit sour. Even if I did want to stay, I didn't want to stay anymore, because I'm just like, the way that things were happening, I was just not happy. So I was told that, then they did set up a meeting. They told me that, oh no, you can't leave. You can actually, so it was the whole thing, the way there was also like there was like a long weekend of the Easters and stuff. So many things were also happening. So I was told that I couldn't leave in the month of April. I could only leave in the end of May. So my resignation letter was in on the 8th, I think, if I'm not wrong. Right? So like, yeah, it's a bit like, so it's like, okay, I can work the 5 days. So they were not having it. So I'm like, okay, so I can't negotiate. So it was just at a point where, in point blank, I couldn't negotiate anything. So I was just told, no, you can't leave. And then came the end of the month, and then someone who worked in my team, who was sort of like, I'm not sure what he does that he did, and then he was like, oh, Naledi, the other people are still waiting for a response. And then he was like, so can you like talk to the other company so that you can start, maybe because you already have 10 days of leave, probably you could work the 10 days, and then then compromise your 10 days of leave days. I said, I would think about it, but already, guys, the way things were so sour, it felt like I wasn't working for those people. It felt like they didn't know me, because I felt like it could have been a conversation more than the emails back and forth and whatnot. Like, not even a single day did the dev manager's manager try to like set up a meeting, like find out what the situation is like. um you know, just like as someone who worked for you, like, do you understand? Like, sit down, have a conversation with them, come up with a solution. But instead, like, everything was just meant to be difficult. Like, it was made to be difficult. So I told, okay, I'll, for the sake of the video, I'll call the person, the manager, semi-manager. I don't know what to call him. And he went to go communicate with the other guys, and they agreed. But when I tried to communicate it, try to find a solution, there wasn't. So I guess I don't know, maybe I didn't have the authority to do so. But I think for somebody who worked for you, you would want to like have that conversation with them and come up with a solution, other than enforcing authority you have over them. So that for me made me so angry and made me make like emotional decisions, like leaving at the end of like that month. And then they were, yeah, acting otherwise. And then so as the semi manager tried to to like intervene and help out both parties, and I'm just like, so it was just a weird situation. It was just a weird situation. And then he was like, okay, you can work for a week and then whatever. But also, if I was going to work, I wasn't going to get paid, which is also a weird situation. It was just too much. So they end up coming with conditions that if I do this, and I'm like, this doesn't have to be difficult. And they were like, they're going to take me to court. And I didn't reply to that because I felt this could have been easily settled. The minute I said, and my resignation letter was late, I own up to that. It could have been a matter of, okay, Naledi, we'll let you go. Not that they needed me, to be quite honest. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go straight into that and mention the reasons, right? But I'm just like, if I say, I decide that, okay, I wanna leave, right? Then we sit down, we be like, okay, Naledi, if you leave, you're gonna owe us a month or a month's salary. Do you understand? And it'd been a thing where there was no need for the back and forth, there was no need for the bullying, there was no need for, like basically I had felt bullied, uh and then there was no need for all of that. It could have been from the onset. I mean, surely, guys, those things do happen, right? We all plan for other things, and the other things happen. We, like how we all have plans, but God made the decision type of vibes. Because I'm just like, okay, this was like an ex gratia situation, if that makes sense, right? And I'm thinking to myself, these things do happen, right? And surely there's processes to deal with such things, right? If rightfully so, I would owe you a month's salary, then you tell me from the onset. You don't bully me the whole time, and then you say you're gonna owe us a month's salary as a threat. Do you understand? Like you from the onset, like so that we are all both civil, and we know these are the terms and these are the terms and conditions that are before we don't have to go through all the emotions, all the trauma, all the bullying. That wasn't necessary. Fine. So I do decide to leave because already at that point I wasn't comfortable with staying. Even if my new employer would have, I guess they would have been fine. I did talk to them and they were fine about it. But already at that point, I wasn't too comfortable with staying, given the fact that, it felt like I was just like a somebody. Like, this is the person, this is the place where I'd worked for like 3 years, over 3 years, guys, almost 4 years. I worked in that place. And never for a single day have I been otherwise, right? I believed, like, guys, it was not even a matter of me believing, but I have done well. I've pushed myself. I have made major contributions. And it was not even a matter of we don't want you to leave, because at some point the dev manager, I think the person who manages developers, I think so, something along those lines, and then he was like, no, so what are you gonna do? I don't want to see you without a job, so are you staying? I'm like, okay, so this is about me staying. Because I mean, if it was a matter of, oh, Naledi, we don't want you to leave, then like, oh, do you understand? But it was just too fishy. It was just way too fishy, you know. Fine, I leave. And then after I had left, um, a week later, a friend of mine, not a friend, somebody I knew, so had called me and then asked me what was happening, right? And he didn't know that I had left the place, I had quit. He didn't know that. So it's like, there's some commotion at the office, and he heard someone saying something. I was just like, I don't know, my brother, but I have left. And then I tried to like explain a bit of it, right? So fine. They were like, they're gonna take me to court, rightfully so, right? I felt, it was fine. If they believed in their case so much, it's fine. Then I'll, if they're, I don't know, guys, if what they're doing, they believe in it, And if what they had said, they believe in it, and it's what they need to do, then fine, I will, own up to it, and I will take responsibility. All right. And then a few months down the line, right? When I say a few months down the line, I mean last year, October or November. I can't quite recall, right? On my, I receive a credit, a statement, a credit a report, right? When I see, okay, company X is appearing, it says I'm owing them, and I apparently missed a court date, which was on the 15th of September. Hmm, this is very weird. Okay, so I go to the court, the magistrate's court, to find out what the whole thing is about. Oh no, I think on the first day I sent an email to the Experian. Is it Experian or whatever? So yeah. And then they're like, no, I need to go to court. Then I go to the magistrate court, and then I ask them what is happening. They're like, no, but you should have received documents about the case. And I'm like, no, I received no documents. Um, so it clicked. It clicked when the friend called me that there was like talks that were happening, and someone said something. Then all of this like sort of made sense, that it was like a form of we want to show you, like, type of vibes, right? Or that's sort of like this, what I was sensing from the situation. So I got into the court. I went to the clerk or whatever to get the details about the case, because I had no sight of it, I didn't know about it. Fine. So when I got there, the lady who worked there made me a copy of the case, the case. I don't know, guys. It's not a docket, guys. Of the details of the case, right? So the lady reads out the thingy to me. She even underlines that company X or the sheriff or whomever had delivered the letter of demand to my address, and they had delivered it to my son, who is over the age of 16. I am 26. How the hell would I have a 16-year-old child? A child who's over the age of 16, which at this point, the child is probably 17. I might have had a child when I was 9 years old. How does that even make sense? Fine. I'm like, my child even has a name. His name is Ndobelo Mketezi, which comes from, because my mother's name is Notembeko, and Ndobelo is very similar to my mother's name. So someone cooked some story up. Um, Fine. And the lady's like, no, they said they delivered it to your son. I'm like, how does that even make sense? How do I have a son at 26 who is over the age of 16? Like, how does that make sense? But anyway, now I was so defeated, because, okay, I was slightly glad that, I mean, it would have been worse if, I don't know, guys, I don't know. But hey, yeah, so I missed the court date. So it was a thing, it was something, it was just, for me, it felt like something that was just designed to be the way it came out, so that I don't get all the documents. And then, so the goal of this whole situation was the credit bureau. The goal of the situation was to, oh, if this gets to the credit bureau, we know you can't make debts, or you can't take out credit, you can't get a job, like so many things will be messed up. And do you understand? It was a point of every, like, so the goal was the credit bureau, which happened, like, it happened. You know how in the movies it's like, before you get shot someone saves you? No, nobody saved me, guys. I went through it. Fine. So the whole point was for me to be listed as a credit, is it a credit debtor, yonale, in the credit bureau, so that for the next 6 years, because my thing is, if you believe so much in your case, I would have been served the papers correctly. Then if it means I must go to court and state what happened, then I would have. But like, I was denied an opportunity to also put in my side of the story, so that if it means that if I was wrong in the process, then I will, own up to all of that. Fine. And then I write a statement, and then I had to get an attorney, because I was just like, also I think I was emotional about it because my mom was like, no, just pay those people and get it out of the way. But also I was a bit emotional about it and I was angry. And I was like, okay, so clearly I live on someone's head rent free. So yeah, I'll also show them. Bad idea. Don't do it. Yeah, so I had to like get an attorney to get it sorted out, because also the way things panned out, the way now I'm on the credit bureau. Imagine I was never served with anything. Imagine you owe people, you don't even have their account number, you don't even, do you understand? It was just one of those situations. I'm like, how am I okay? Anyway, so we write a letter. I think we write a rescission of judgment because I wasn't aware of the judgment. Um, and like there was so many things that I had listed on my statement. And then after some time, then they replied. They were like, oh, they what do they call? They they opposed the rescission of judgment, with I can't remember what they said. They even got more people involved, and I was just like, also guys, I felt like also like a lot was just happening in my life as well. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna engage in it. So the whole point is that, okay, those people already have money, so they don't mind losing. I mean, they don't mind dragging. And also like I have a stepsister who's like an attorney, so she was like, this could like drag for a very long time, and rather, I don't know, whatever. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay them. um I think it took a lot of like me being out of my emotions to decide that I was gonna pay, because I was just like, it's fine. It's just what was like whatever amount, it was like, it won't do anything for me, And mind you, the very same people that demand their money, they also owe me some leave days that they didn't pay, But I was just like, you know what? Their mission is accomplished, credit bureau, because during this year and from when it was I was listed, I couldn't take out any credit. I couldn't, which was good for me, you get. But I'm just like, how bitter are you? How bitter are you? Like, which means like, ungazi maybe bathwala ngami, or like, I don't know, why would you be that angry? Like, if I had an employee and they wanted to leave, I would just give them the bill and be like, pay me, then leave them alone. But no, those ones had to like really like put on a show. So in August, right? So because I had like a couple of things to do, we all have responsibilities, we're adults, I decided, you know what? Let me reach out to those people and, try to pay them the money so that, what, I'm also gonna live freely. And because it bothered me a little bit, Also, I think I've mentioned that I'm a Lannister and I pay my debts. So it's like, let me just, do just that. So I sent an email to the people and I was just like, okay, guys, please send me your account number. I'm just going to pay you guys your money. And I also want my leave days money, right? And then they never replied. And then a month later, which was like a month of September, the one day I received a letter from some sheriffs saying, oh, it's a letter of execution. I reached out to say I want to pay, right? Because I was just like, I'm tired of this cat mouse game that you're about, because I think the emotions were gone at that point where I was just like, let me just pay up. So a month later, I received that letter of execution from some sheriff. So fine, I received the letter, and then on the next day, I went to their offices. So the lady there was just like, no, they don't have the actual like a letters, probably the drivers still have the letters or the documents, right? But then it's a letter of attachment, which means that they have to come into my house and attach things that going to amount to what I was owing. Yo, guys, was I not a divas? I laughed it off because I was like, how petty are you guys? Like, I reached out to say I want to pay. Now you want to attach some stuff to my... Mm, yo, guys, I don't know where to, I don't know like, like, wow, I couldn't believe it, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, so I called the other attorneys. So the sheriffs gave me numbers of their attorneys, so the attorneys had the company's attorneys, so I had to go through so many people. And then the other ones, I was just like, because now I was honestly at a point where I was like, okay, so these people don't get tired, and like surely they are here for a pound of flesh. So what must happen now? So, and then they were like, so I asked those attorneys, not the attorneys, but the people whom I was talking to on the phone. So I was like, but these people don't seem like they want their money, right? Because according to what I'm feeling and the way things are happening is that I had, offered to pay the money, but they didn't send me what I asked for. So rather, they just want to, cause a scene and all of that. So they're like, no. Oh, then I asked, like, what if they don't want their money? And then the lady was like, no, we'll force them to take the money. So they gave me the company's lawyers, right? Then I called the company's lawyers, and yeah, it's whatever, bruh. So I told him that, like, no, I'm gonna pay. So I made a payment arrangement. So I paid all their money. So I was like, I was not broke, man, for that month, but I just happened to have had the money, only to find out the money had gone up, And I'm like, so when was I gonna find this out? And then finally, the people came to register things, and they're like, our fridge is gonna be 500 rands, the kitchen unit is gonna be whatever. Basically, it was that's what they did. And then I remember when I called their attorney, the company's attorney, he's like, no, but you made a payment. And then I was like, no, it wasn't me. It's like, oh, it was someone else. I'm like, okay, so this is how they deal with us. This is how we are being dealt with, right? And I'm like, imagine like old men and women literally sit around a table and discuss, mana, this is what we're gonna do to people who leave our company. And I'm like, guys, it was just one of those things where I couldn't believe it. I could believe it, man. I could believe it. Like, I've sort of like seen how they operate. Sometimes it wasn't even things that they had done to me for me to see what type of people they were. Like, I saw it through other people, you know? And also, I was not in denial in a sense that I wasn't like, they would never do that to me. No, they did it to me too. Um, Given the fact that I worked, for those people, and yo, bruh. But anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, basically that's what happened, and for me, my brother was like, I should like maybe get an attorney, but I'm just like, no, I just happen to have dealt with the wrong people. Not that I happen to have dealt with not so good people. It would have been as easy as giving me a letter of demand, and it would have ended. Like, no one would have had to do anything, and then if I refuse to pay that, then you take it to the next level. But like, you just went, you have to be down and out. But anyway, guys, that's that on that. I did pay them their money. And then I was like, okay. And then apparently there's also like fees that I need to pay because I went to go receive a judgment. So apparently, yeah, so there's more money that I have to pay, and it's probably gonna take months. So yeah, the mission was accomplished, guys. But anyway, I just thought that I felt much in a better space right about now that I could tell the story. That's that on that. Also, I'm not saying it happened to me, it's gonna happen to you. No. It was just one of those things where everyone was shook that this actually happened. Like even my attorney himself was like, nah, these people hate you. Like who would go to this extent? Like who would go to this extent? um you know, like everyone was just in jail, like ah, yeah, 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 nah. But anyway, guys, that's it. I want to give them so much time. I'm good now. Even better things have happened since. um Sure. I'm gonna like share a video. Like a lot of content is coming up. I'll do a life update, a life lately video, and all of that to share what has been happening. The devil is a liar. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and goodbye.